Was that real?
Russell! Yo, what's going on? Back to the world, yo.
Nah, that ain't real. That can't be real, right? Nah, I doubt it. Anyway, the closer we get to this election, the stranger things starting to get. Heck, I mean, today is election day after all. You see, I voted. Did you? Heck, I ain't even gonna lie. That was the first time I've ever voted in my life, and could have been the last time, according to Elon Musk.
Well, I'll say it again, man. I think this is the last election. If Trump doesn't win, this is the last election.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think people, and a lot of people are waking up and realize that have been lifelong Democrats. Guys like Bill Ackman, guys like Chamath.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Tulsi Gabbard switched over to the Republicans.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of people who their whole life they've been left wing, and they realize, like, I can't do this anymore.
You and I used to be Democrats.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's nuts, man. And
I wish I saw this clip before I voted. Heck, I wish I saw this clip before I talked about this clip. I just watched this clip for the very first time as it was playing just now. I don't know how to feel. Y'all still don't know who I voted for. But in all seriousness, I could have easily voted for someone who had zero chance of winning. Like, there's two candidates right now that have the potential to win, and then the others have no chance at all. I voted for one of them. Yeah, right.
Let's look at some of the conspiracy theories of fraud. We'll take them one at a time. Bogus votes are electronically inserted into tabulation machines.
They're not connected to the internet. They are under strict physical chain of custody. It is really hard to get access to a physical machine and do anything to it. And even if there were some attempt to hack the machine, or probably more likely have some kind of malfunction of the machine, the audits would catch it.
Another of the conspiracy theories is that illegal immigrants are voting by the millions.
That is 100% false. Every single voter has to give a driver's license number or a social security number, which is matched against files, databases that are held to make sure the voter is who they say they are and they're eligible to vote. And we also know that states who have gone looking for non-citizens voters have found shockingly few even potential non-citizen registrants. Ohio just recently announced that in a period of time of over a decade, it had found 6 possible cases of non-citizens voting.
But fraud does happen, doesn't it?
It happens very rarely. We know how much fraud in this country happens. We know it's not zero, but it's very, very close to zero.
We're not talking about millions of votes or hundreds of thousands of votes.
No, we're talking about dozens of votes in a big national election. It is, for all intents and purposes, impossible to steal a big national election. We are so decentralized with almost 10,000 different jurisdictions run by Democratic and Republican election officials. Our voter lists are as accurate as they ever have been before, and they're checked regularly.
I don't know if I believe that. After all, there was a big, huge scandal when Trump was elected the first time with the Russians. Well, maybe he's talking about present tense and not past.
I'm gonna prove to y'all the alien card is in play in 1 minute and y'all aren't ready. Let's go. So first we have Elon Musk with SpaceX, who we've been seeing a lot lately. And you know what I'm talking about. Then we got Jeff Bezos with his Blue Origin. By the way, look at his logo. That feather looks weird. Obviously Space Force. And my friends at the Serpent Agency. Would you believe me if I told you they all had contracts with each other? SpaceX with NASA. And if you think Bezos is irrelevant, don't forget Washington Post with their failure to endorse and people stepping down. And Blue Origin has a contract with these as well. But did you know the US Space Force has a contract with them as well? We also have the new Space Force awarding $70 million to SpaceX to Elon. From these guys to this dude. And here's another huge contract between SpaceX and Space Force. And then Bezos and Space Force. So they're all involved with each other. But did you also know Representative Tim Burchett just came out and said he talked to Trump and that he said there would be disclosure?
I talked to President Trump, but I'm convinced that if he's elected that there will be disclosure.
And of course we have people like Charlie Kirk seeing UFOs. It's almost time.
I was about 20 years old. Me and my friend Kirsten were driving, and we saw a sign that said like 246 miles to San Francisco. And we jokingly were like, oh, should we say screw it? Just go to San Francisco instead. And we were laughing, kept driving for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, it felt like a downed power line. I don't know how to explain it. Like there was this energy, this very crackly sort of energy. We were like, what just happened? What was that? We were both looking at each other like, you felt that, right? What just happened? So we keep driving, totally like freaked out by the energy we just felt. And then maybe like 5 minutes down the road, we passed the exact same sign. It says 246 miles to San Francisco. And we're like, no, we passed that. We drove past it. What's going on? We were freaking out. When I got back to my house, I had gotten out of the shower and I was putting like lotion on, and I felt something sharp in my lower back. And I look, and there's literally a black triangle piece in my lower back. Years later, I found this guy who used to be a photographer for the Rolling Stone magazine, and he owned this restaurant, and I was telling the guys about this missing piece of time, and they're like, oh my god, wait, you have to meet this guy. And they bring him out of the kitchen, and he's like has a newspaper that he puts out quarterly, and it's all about UFOs and abductions, and he talks about the placement of chips, and it's literally the exact same spot.
Wow.
There were like 3 locations that they're normally in, and one was there.
There it is.
I've gone to doctors, and they're like, I don't know what it is, but
You have to show me. I want to see.
Yeah.
What? I want to see it too.
They told me they were making a they told me they were making a hybrid race.
And for what?
They didn't want. I wanted to know for what, but they never gave an inkling of what it was for, of what this hybrid race would be doing, where it would be, or what. My grandfather died in 1940, so this was in the 1930s when these things were happening with them. She said they would be sitting on the side porch at night, and they would see lights over the oil wells, and a lot of times they would see what they thought were little children dressed in white running around the oil wells. And on several times they saw it in the daytime. They would see these little children dressed in white, and once or twice they got up to go see if they could catch the little children and find out who they were, and they would start out, but by the time they would get there, the children would be gone. The main concept was creating a hybrid breed. At least that's what they told me, that they were trying to create a race of people that could live in our atmosphere and in their atmosphere. And they had not yet produced that person. Now, on another occasion, I remembered being shown a baby that really favored my grandson a lot. If you would, give it the slant eyes, they weren't as big as their eyes, but it looked human. And I knew that this was my child, and I wanted to take that child with me, but they said that it would not be able to live in this atmosphere. It's not really a frightening experience. It's just, it happens, and it doesn't leave you frightened. I think the thing that frightened me the most was that I was not consciously aware of what had happened, and I did not know what to put these ships with. I didn't have anything concrete to say, well, they're coming to do this or that. I just had the frightening feeling. And after I found out what had happened, I was at peace with what had happened, knowing that there's nothing that I can do about it, because I cannot stop them. Nobody can stop them from doing what they want to do. Nobody on this earth. Because they are too far advanced mentally and technologically for, we don't have a defense at all.
It's like they do magic.
Yeah, they could come in today and take over if that was their desire. But like I said, I don't feel that it's their desire to take over through violence, and they don't care about governments. See, government control is not their thing. They want bodies, and they want minds that are going to do what they want the minds to do, but they need the bodies to do whatever it is with. And that's where we come in.
If this woman hadn't started making so much sense towards the end, I would have thought she was just talking, just out her head, just making up a bunch of nonsense. But the fact that she says, hey, they don't care nothing about us. As far as our government, they're not fearful of us. We have something that they want. Our bodies, our minds. Like, that was so specific. It was like she had experienced something based off of what she said she experienced in order to come to that conclusion. But what do you guys think? Comment down below.
They had this house there, and there was like these devil statues, and I was like, no, girl. And I was like, what should we do? We gotta pray. Trust God only.
Shout out to Kanye West for that, for instilling good faith in God into his children. During times like this, Lord knows we need it. And when I say times like this, I mean aliens. They're coming. Watch out. They might be demonic.
Mr. Beast is the Antichrist. Wait, you actually believe that? Yeah, I actually believe it now. Why? Because I didn't know what was going on with Chandler. Did you know what was going on with Chandler? Did he leave? Yeah, he left. Mr. Beast might not have a soul. I mean, is that not weird that everyone changed? Well, Chandler, he was going on TikTok and I saw one of his lives, and he said, when I was going through a lot of depression, when I was going through this whole YouTube stuff with all the money, he was smoking in his room. And he said that when he was walking around, he heard God said, what are you doing? He got baptized, he beat the drug addiction, like everything was good now. And that's when he left. Yeah. But that's look at the context and the timeline. When he left is when it got better.
Went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the big theory how like Mr. Beast, the mark of the beast.
The mark of the beast. Mr. Beast might not have a soul. Anytime you see Mr. Beast smile or laugh, his eyebrows don't move. And that's a clear tell when somebody's being truthful or not, and when someone has true emotion.
These boys are wild, I swear. You know, for the longest, people always thought that Mr. Beast was this good-hearted, kind-hearted soul. And I'm not ready to write him off as being anything but, or anything less. All the good charity work that he has done for countless people around the world, but at the same time, a lot of bad has come out too to show and prove that Mr. Beast might not be as great of a human being as we all thought and would have liked to believe. But what do we know?
Did you know every single time Beyonce begins one of her world tours, a massive music icon dies? This theory begins with the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Beyonce embarked on her I Am Sasha Fierce World Tour starting in March 2009, and Michael Jackson died in June 2009. Right when Beyonce announced her The Miss Carter Show World Tour in 2012, the queen of disco, Donna Summers, died. Then right before embarking on that same world tour, queen of vocals Whitney Houston died. It gets crazier because in June 2014, when Beyonce and Jay-Z began their On the Run world tour, legend of soul music, Bobby Womack, died in June 2014. Literally, right as Beyonce began her Formation world tour in April 2016. Prince died also in April 2016. Right after Beyonce and Jay-Z began their On the Run to World Tour in June 2018, Queen of Soul. Aretha Franklin dies in August 2018, seeing her pay tribute to a falling music icon at each of her tours is getting a little bit eerie. And the craziest part is that fans were already predicting who was going to be next, right when the Renaissance Tour was announced. Beyonce began her Renaissance World Tour in May 2023, and Tina Turner died in May. And right on cue, Beyonce paid tribute to her. People are asking Beyonce to stop touring.
At the beginning of this, I was gonna be like, you know what, this could be coinkydink, right? It could be a coincidence because people cease to exist every single day. But dang, all these celebrities, whenever she go on tour, shit, that might be more than a coincidence. I ain't even gonna lie.
Did you see these predictions? They're going all over my FYP, so let me show you because some of them are crazy. Pay attention. Right here.
My predictions for 2024. Trump will be re-elected president, and he will hold office for the longest time compared to any other president. Inner Earth civilizations are going to be made known. And it won't be disclosure. It's going to be because they impose themselves.
Oh my.
In March, Planet Nibiru will be visible to Earthlings.
That's gonna be crazy.
Between February and March 2024, a planet 8 times larger than Earth is going to be visible to humans.
Wow.
Scientists are going to discover that there is a mirror Earth within our solar system. Opposite gravity. And the sky is not blue, but red and purple as their oceans reflect the sky. And yes, it is a habitable planet.
Wow.
2024, CERN, or an agency similar to CERN, is to expose interdimensional travel.
Yep.
They've already done it. They've already succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
But they will come out and tell everyone.
We all know.
Texas and Florida are going to want to separate from the rest of the United States. They want to become independent. This year, dragons are going to be rediscovered, not discovered. They already existed. They already lived amongst men. It's just going to be explained. There's going to be evidence, but not of a dead species, of a living, thriving species with over 2,000 breeds of dragons. They breathe fire, they fly, and they communicate with man telepathically. Between now and Christmas, a famous singer that we all thought to be deceased will come out admitting to have faked his own death. And this person is legendary. It is a male with black hair and white hair.
Wow.
If there are not to be any more timeline shift, these are the predictions from 2024 to all the way to the end of 2025.
Isn't that crazy? But I know that a lot of people that predict have said that yes, Trump is going to win. I'm more concerned about the dragons and who is coming back. You know, maybe Michael Jackson, maybe Tupac. I don't know. What do you think?
Now, as you all could tell, I started making this video prior to the election happening. It has been 2 days since the election. Today's Thursday, and we already have an elected president. Now, this prediction here happened before Donald Trump was elected president, but she's saying some stuff that has already happened that she predicted would happen in the year 2024. Now, I don't know if she's talking about 2024 or 2025 when she said, well, no, actually she did. She stated between now and Christmas, somebody, a celebrity, will come back to life, or at least, you know, come out and say that they faked their own death. Let's see how true that is.
Liam Payne was speaking out, and he was speaking out about a Diddy party, fam. If you look closely at Salma Hayek and the other guy, look what they do with their hands. Look.
Wait.
Look.
Wait, so he was... Oh,
This is before.
Way before, like, this
yeah,
happened?
this is before, like, he passed away.
No, that's...
Watch this.
So P. Diddy. So I went out to shake his hand, and I shook his hand, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you, and he's going, but the longest handshake ever. And I'm like, sat there just looking in P. Diddy's eyes like, when is this going to end? The worst of it happened. There was a whole thing with Jay-Z, and I went to lean in to speak to him. But you can't lean in to speak to Jay-Z. You're not allowed to lean in. And his bodyguard just like shoved me like this, and I went flying across the room. And I was like, right, I'm just going to go and sit over here with Eddie Goldman. I mean, thank you, that's enough. Very awkward moment.
That is weird that people kind of live like that. It's so...
Yeah. I don't want to believe everybody's on that side, though. I don't think so.
I don't know. I honestly don't believe that Liam Payne had any reason to make up these stories in regards to the experience that he had meeting P. Diddy and Jay-Z. Now, if you want some of the most detailed, and I mean feel like you were there, present for those moments, information in regards to Diddy or Jay-Z, highly recommend you guys going out and checking out one of my favorite content creators, Rotten Mango. She's currently covering the whole Diddy case. She's doing like a 4-part episode. I'm on episode 2, and when I tell you, the information is mind-blowing. Her team are doing a phenomenal job of collecting actual information, stuff that they gathered from people that were there. and putting the story together and piecing the story together, especially if you're a hip hop head like me, that you grew up hearing about certain stuff, but now everything's being pieced together so perfectly. Go check it out. Wait, this is supposed to be Shirley Temple as an adult?
When I left Fox, I went to MGM for one picture. Thank goodness, only one. And when I got there with my mother, we were separated. She went into the office of Louis B. Mayer, and I went into the office of Arthur Freed. And he was going to talk to me about a movie he wanted to put me in. I'm 12 years old, you know. And I thought he was a producer, but instead he was an exhibitor. And I'd never seen anyone naked before, except myself. So I had no clue about what was happening. And so it struck me so funny, I laughed at him. And I laughed uproariously. I had tears, you know, and he got infuriated. And he said, out, 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 go.
Did you tell your mother?
Well, I was very quiet. I went down and met her in the lobby of the administration building. She came out very quietly from Louis B. Mayer's office, and we walked hand in hand silently to the car, which was unusual. We got in the car driving home. I said, Mom, you won't believe what happened to me. And I told her what happened, and she got kind of quiet, and she said, well, you don't know what happened to me. And Louis B. Mayer wasn't as bad as Freed was to me, but he came on to my mother. And so we both decided that we didn't like MGM much. It was, you know, it was better at Fox.
Wow.
What does it say? It's a different tag from the outside tag. Oh, you're kidding me. Wait, where's the outside tag? Where's the outside tag so I can show that? Oh, it's this side, this side. This is the outside tag.
Wait.
What? And then there's another tag inside. That is freaking crazy. Look at all those stains.
Ew.
And this is a new mattress. What the heck? Look.
Ew.
And it's not, this is not nice at all. What the heck?
Ew. That's crazy. I get it now.
They literally just put this up top. Should we cut the other side and see?
No way. That's crazy. Yo.
Look at all those stains.
Look at all those stains.
Oh my gosh. And then show the top one. Show the one that he was. Look at.
Yo, look at that. Brand new.
Literally got this new. And then look at that.
What? That's messed up.
We gotta flip it over and check the other side. I'm literally like.
Look at the other. Yo, what?
Got it? Go to the other side.
That's messed up.
Mind you, this is a really uncomfortable bed. I got slept on it once and I was like, There's just spring in there.
Heck, that bed been worn in. You would think
I
it
wonder
was
if this side is
comfortable.
stained too, because that would be crazy. It probably is. Because the whole thing is stained. Look at that.
Damn, ew. Ew.
Look at that.
Bro. Alright, how often is this happening? Or how often do y'all think it's happening where these dang on bed companies are selling us freaking beds that are used and they just putting a whole nother cover thing over it? She said that bed was uncomfortable. Heck, I'm surprised. I would think it would be very comfortable considering the fact that it's been worn in. Oh, man, that's unsanitary. That's, oh. And then they go charge you full price for a freaking bed that somebody threw next to a dumpster. That's crazy.
I'd like to introduce you to the idea of water as an intelligent designer. Here I exposed water to my friend's photo, removed and froze using a special method, and it designed her face. I showed the ice result to the water, and it designed a negative of her face. I briefly placed my thumb in the water and then froze it, and water designed a thumb with a chip in the nail. I chipped my nail in exactly the same place 3 hours later.
What?
Here I used a conceptual word of ego. It's a word I have no visual for, which removes any mental projection, and water designed a person with big shoulders, a small face, and a giant balloon head.
Wow.
I used the word milk as an influence, and water designed a breast. I wasn't thinking of human milk, so this was a surprise. You notice that the ice designs are not photocopies of the influence, but more of an interpretation, and to me, this is clear display of some kind of awareness. I honestly don't think we know what water really is yet.
Yo, no way! When you think about the fact that we are an intelligent life form made up of majority water, this kind of makes sense. But I'm not gonna lie, I want to put this to test.
So this is pretty fascinating. What you're looking at is a white blood cell roaming around all the red blood cells and checking for any abnormalities, right? Harmful organisms. And what's interesting about this is I remember in health class when I heard that the white blood cells regulate the red blood cells. I don't know what I thought, you know? I just thought they were kind of like chilling, like off-duty cops. And then when something happens, they ran up to it or something, ran up to it. But this is very interesting because it looks like it's like checking on, you know, it's just like filing through. Hey, what's up, y'all? You good over here? Everybody, all right, we straight. It's like literally like patrolling. And it's just crazy. Like this is just going on in here. Every time you sneeze, start to get sick. I just imagine it with like a little flashlight being held by a blood cell hand and just looking around, you know. We good? Any drugs in here? Okay, you good? You've been drinking tonight? You know, like just it's very human. And again, this might be common knowledge to everybody else, but I don't know what I thought, but I didn't think this. I didn't think it was just patrolling like this. But hey, next time you get over being sick, just know that your little off-duty security guards, they were on duty. They were doing their duty.
Is that really how the white blood cells work? I had no idea. That was really cool to witness. It just goes to show you just how incredible the human body can be.
We all been lied to about the truth behind the times of 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I'm about to tell you exactly what the fuck be going on at that time. Let's get into it. Basically, during this time, the veil between our realm and the other higher realms of existence is thinnest at this point, right? Everybody's been told that. But did you know that at this point in your time, if you get woken up, it's called the ambrosial hour. And it's actually a huge energetic boost for all of us that naturally we wake up during the night. Sometimes when our soul, aka our higher self, wants us to use this energy to be in the creator mode of this reality. So if you ever played Minecraft, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's actually a great time for you to be in the purgatory. You're not dead, you're not alive, but you're on the other side. Because did you not know, friend, that everything that we're doing is a dream right now? Yes! Even when we go to sleep, we think we're sleeping. We're not sleeping. We're actually just back in our original state of nothingness. And we're without a body, so we're without having a human experience. And we are just experiencing life without this vessel. And that's what happens when we're asleep. But when we wake up during those times, we are still in that state because your brain is the map and the gateway to consciousness.
That's so crazy that she was saying this stuff, because I was literally having a conversation just yesterday with my friend that's over here now, and we were talking about my specific dream state and how vivid it can be. And she was literally saying the same sort of things that this woman was saying about the dream state. And another thing that happened last night was I was woken up by her in the middle of a dream. And I remember when I woke up and spoke to her, I actually started speaking to her before I fully woken up, and while my eyes were still closed and I was still dreaming. And then when I came more to, I told her, I was like, I was responding to you in the physical world, but I was still in the dream world. Man.
There's an underwater base for sure, right off Guadalupe Island, down underneath the sea. There's a specific spot right off that island, right there, beneath the sea. They deployed an entire carrier group. We monitored over 100 sightings of UFOs coming and going down into the ocean right there and going down to the bottom of the ocean. And they were monitored by the submarines. That's right, monitored by the submarines underneath the water, coming and going. So that there's certainly a base there. There's another base outside of Sedona Arizona, there's a place called Secret Mountain Wilderness over there that's just totally desolate area. The base there where there's where the craft are. There's a number of them high in the mountains and remote areas of the planet, and that they're here now, that they're extraordinarily distressed, you can tell, about the state of affairs right now.
Of humanity.
Yes.
I'll find the rest of that video to see what happened when they actually got on the top of this wall here. Like, how far did they travel, and did they discover whether or not the earth was flat? I mean, based on the little title underneath the video, it says that they discovered that it definitely wasn't flat. But at the same time, how am I supposed to know? Like, anyway, y'all leave y'all thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya.